Welcome to Capture Integration. We're a medium format digital specialized dealer based in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Steve Hendrix, and today we are unboxing the new Hasselblad 907X CFV 100C. Now, guess what? This is not the 907X CFV 100C, but this is actually from the previous generation. To see how big this packaging is compared to the new packaging, and to see what a difference is in Hasselblad's approach to packaging today. So out with the old, in with the new, and this is the 907X CFV 100C. I have to say, objectively speaking, it's a much nicer presentation. It's way smaller, but of course it is smaller. That speaks to the product itself being a smaller product. And this is mostly a digital back versus a full camera, but still, it's a small, nice little package. So let's open her up. Okay, so we see a compartment with, clearly that's a digital back. This is the 907X camera, and then a mystery box full of some goodies. So we're gonna open this and remove this. So here you see the CFV 100C. Now this sports a brand new sensor versus the previous generation CFV 50C. It's a 100 megapixel sensor. It's a 16-bit sensor, even though Hasselblad terms the 50C 16-bit, it's in actuality a 14-bit sensor. This is a 16-bit sensor, and this has 15 stops of dynamic range versus 14 stops on the 50C. But it's also a backside illuminated sensor, what they call BSI. And what that means is that the majority of the electronics have been removed from above the sensor where the light comes in and placed below the sensor. And the benefit of this is, in general, a cleaner signal, but also particularly if you're using this on a technical shift camera or a view camera and shifting lenses, you won't see that magenta cast that you might be familiar with for using almost any other digital back, including the CFV 50C. So that's a huge benefit for a technical or view camera user. Now, one thing I noticed on this back right off is that of these buttons, the power button is recessed. And that's a change, because we did hear from some of our clients that would put this into a bag, the battery would be inside, and the button would turn the device on. And so Hasselblad listened to that, made an adjustment. This button is now flush instead of extended. This back is unique, like the previous, in that it is the only digital back that offers a tilt screen. And there are ports on the bottom of this. Now, Hasselblad calls this system a trifecta, and what they mean is that this can go on any number of different cameras. There's three general uses that you would have. One would be for mounting directly to a Hasselblad V-series body. And if you remove this cover, you can see that that interface is made for that. You've got the bottom hooks, and then you've got the slots above for the top hooks. So it goes directly onto a Hasselblad V-series camera. You don't need any kind of connecting cable. And then your Hasselblad V-series is now a digital system. This also goes on to technical and view cameras, like we mentioned. And in that case, you may need a synchronization cable. And so this rubber cover opens up, and you've got some ports in here. And so if you're using a view camera lens with a couple shutter, you'll need a sync cable that goes to the sync post on the lens, and the other end fits into that port right there. There's other ports. One is a port for the remote release cable. It's a mini jack port, so this fits the existing release cable. On the X2D, there is no remote release cable. There's a rumor that they may come out with a USB-C based version. So I wondered if that was going to be a port for the existing one on this new device, and there is. So you do have a remote cable option. There's a port there for connecting strobe triggers, and then if this goes on to a Hasselblad V-series body with a motor, like a winder motor drive, that's a cable to connect that. That's two. Now the third method for connecting this to a camera system, like a whole different camera system, is this right here. And this is the 907X piece. This is, in essence, a really small little camera. And when you connect this to the digital back, you then have the ability to use the Hasselblad XCD lenses, which are modern state-of-the-art lenses, and they connect to this, and you have a nice small little package. It also has phase detect autofocus, and there's also a 1 terabyte internal drive. That's something that they carried over from the X2D, which was a really nice feature. So 3 different ways of connecting and using this digital back. 907X, where you've got a modern autofocus system. Hasselblad V, where you got a traditional, wonderful, iconic camera that you can then make a digital camera, or you can move it onto a technical or a view camera. And because of the BSI sensor, you now have the ability to shift without having the magenta cast. So in the box, we now have another box, and let's see what's in here. Neck strap, a USB-C cable. So out of the box, and I do see one here, this device has a ability to charge the battery by having the battery inside the back, plugging this cable into the back, and then plugging it into this USB-C block. Now that's not ideal because that ties up the back while you're charging the battery, so we recommend that you add a dual external charger that Hasselblad offers for $155 that we stock here. So this cable can also be used for tethering this unit to, say, a computer, although it's a little bit short for that. So if you're going to tether and want a longer cable, like a 15 or 30-foot cable, we stock those USB-C cables here. Not just any USB-C cable will do. It needs to be of a certain robustness, and we have them here at Capture Integration. Then there's another bag and a sync cable. So this sync cable is in the event you have this on a technical or a view camera, and you're using a lens that has a copal shutter, and you want to use that copal shutter. This end goes to the sync post on the lens, and this goes to a jack on the back of the back, and that's how the back knows that that shutter is firing. This back has a built-in electronic shutter, and you can use that if you're on a tripod in a static scene with nothing large moving in the scene and not using strobe. That uses fine. You can just bypass the copal shutter, not have to use any cables at all, or if the lens is in an aperture mount only. That is everything, except there's one more little product down here. It is not easy to get out. Okay, you're out. All right, this is a hot shoe adapter for a strobe transmitter. Now on the original 907X CFV 50C, there is an optional optical finder that has frame lines for specific lenses, and it fits into the 907X. And if you slide this top hatch off, that's where that fits into. There's a new optical finder for this version that has frame lines for the newer lenses, and that's, as far as I know, the only difference. But on the original one, that optical finder, the viewfinder part, could be removed from the shoe, and people would try and put transmitters on it, and it gets stuck. And there was no contacts with the transmitters, and it wasn't a good fit. So Hasselblad responded to that again. Props to them that they now have not just a dedicated shoe for a transmitter, but it's a hot shoe, and that's a nice surprise. So this fits onto the digital back. So again, you have to remove a cover. You see there's contacts there, and they line up with these contacts, and it just slots right in like so. And so your transmitter will go there. And now you've got the ability to use strobe with no wires or cables or anything, a place for the transmitter to go, and it's all hot. That strobe probably needs to be a Nikon-based strobe because pin configurations matter on the shoe. I'm presuming that Nikon flashes work, and like a flash, like a Profoto A10 in a Nikon version would work as well. From what I understand, that also means TTL compatibility. That is it. So that's the unboxing today. We have these in stock. We've already received a shipment. We have a few left. So if you'd like one or like to have more information about them, give us a call or look us up on the web. It's captureintegration.com. Thanks very much.